I'm going to walk you through 10 minutes of a bit of a mixture of the following. My story, how I help people, and coming back to Chantel's point, how sometimes in sales we can fall out of grace or get back into it. Life throws curveballs at us and teaches us to actually get back on track. Sometimes we lose sight of what matters. And I'll be very transparent with you in terms of how that happened to me and how it allowed me to actually get more clear about what I'm here for and what I want to do. How it all came about, as Silvana suggested beautifully, about 8 years ago, as I like to say it, I washed upon the shores of Australia. From Belgium originally, and I came here with $5,700 to my name. It was a very humbling experience because I came from a Fortune 500 environment where I looked after 15 countries as a sales manager. And for circumstances, it didn't, let's say, I arrived here, came here so-called for love, but actually the relationship that I came for stranded 3 months after. And then I had the challenge of having committed to a franchise that cost me $100,000 and then saying, hey, do I want to pack up and go or just stick to it and carry out what I set forward to do? And I chose the latter. So this is my very push bike that I used to drive around or ride around through Adelaide. Winter or summer didn't matter, 10 degrees or 40 degrees. Imagine me in a beautiful Italian suit with leather shoes and a stupid helmet on my head, riding off to my next meeting. So it was a very humbling experience. Having had a 23,000 euro budget to spend on just entertainment with clients back in Europe and then coming here and then starting all over again. Very, very emotionally challenging, especially after the missus took out with somebody else. But thanks to her, I'm here and I met my beautiful wife, who I'm very happy with. My first client was a dating coach. I helped her actually with her sales process because a lot of people that I work with, they don't know how the psychology works to actually create buy-in and work with more people. So my first client was a dating coach by the name of Kylie. The second one was a 5-man band in finance, and I did about a $5,000 assignment with them. My third client was Quattro, the developers, and I've been working with them over the last 8 years. I was very privileged to actually be asked to host their staff retreat in Warina Cove, 2 days with 24 people, and have helped them grow since then from 56 million to wherever they are today. I had a very interesting experience in such that it started very small, but year on year I just kept growing. And as I got better at what I do, and especially my confidence rose again, because it was a hard hit initially, I started to really build up the business again and double my business pretty much 6 years in a row. And then somehow life threw a curveball, and I'll come back to that one in a moment. I've been fortunate now, having had, for example, people like Dr. John DeMartini come twice to my conference and speak to some of my best clients on how to actually build a great business about inspiring people to buy rather than pressuring people into buying. And this is just him, let's say, last year in March when he came here to the entertainment center. One thing I learned here is that whenever I take inspired action, because I do it for the right reasons, in business, I get rewarded. But any time when I actually do it for the wrong motives, and I'm discongruent and I'm not listening in my heart, straight away, life throws a curveball, to really again teach me to be truthful to myself. These are some of the clients that I've been assisting now in the last 8 years. And again, they're just a few of them, but I thought these might ring bells in different industries. Very fortunate to be working with these people. Love my clients. Over here you see Rob Chapman. Back in 2013, I opened up my office on South Road. Rob Chapman, the most influential South Australian at the time. Not only did he open up my office, he also opened up doors for me. He actually taught me to think big again after the big hit I had on a personal level. And I've been very fortunate having been mentored by him for a year in my business. Now, for a small business, knowing that he was working with the big banks, Crows, of course, and all these other great organizations, it was very humbling for me to actually be working alongside somebody like him and actually be walking in his shoes in a way. Next one, Brian Tracy. That was probably about in 2014. I went over to the US and I spent 3 days working with Brian Tracy and learning some of the tricks of the trade. And that was a really great experience as well. I wanted to also just quickly share, having started with, let's say, a very small base here, nobody knew me, so I had to really network hard and really build my brand and get out and about and shake hands and meet people and do the right thing by them, right? Add value. consistently, let's say over time, I've been able to actually get some wins on the board. My fees started to grow. I started to have more people wanting to work with me one-on-one. I had more people to invite me for keynote speeches and pay me really good money over time. The next one was also corporate training. I had clients that would pay $12,000 for a day. I could not have dreamt of making that much money because I actually made twice the amount in euros back over there. So I started really making a lot of money. And then also, for example, public training, one of my events recently pretty much brought in that sort of revenue with a lot of hard work, mind you. The 2 days was the delivery, but it was a lot of stuff behind the scenes to actually make that happen. I just wanted to show you, so I had some wins on the board. I got some stuff that I actually worked hard for to get to. But then, as it went, the reality check. It really blew my mind. I really needed a reality check, and I had to come back to terms and really do a bit of soul searching. So there were certain things that I was doing that perhaps were not that kosher anymore at the time, and I was at my peak. So the reality kicked in, reality check, time for reflection. One thing I noticed is that in a business like mine, which is very much active-based, so you need to be there in order to make money, and if you're not there, you don't make money. You know, you always need to be rock up. The guarantee thing was always to fix costs. The costs would just keep growing as we grew, so I had more expenditures, so the costs were always there. I could set my clock on it, and I knew exactly how much I would have to pay. But the revenue was fluctuating. You know, it's a project type of business, at least the way I started. The next one then was cash flow, fluctuating, impacting emotions. When you got a lot of money in your bank, you feel great, you feel good about yourself, but then somehow when the cash is really tight, it somehow affects us really big time on an emotional level, and I'm sure that the business owners in the room know this. And then last but not least, at my peak, pretty much, I was pretty much living out of suitcases again. I did it back in Europe, you know, looking after 15 countries. You need to be with your people in sales. So I did. Again, I found myself in the same sort of lifestyle again, just humping from one plane on the next with one of the suitcases with the family behind. The reason why I was doing it all was for them, and then suddenly I find myself not being with them. Does that make sense? All right? So again, big epiphany moment. Time for a change. I was thinking to myself, how is it that these people that I have been working with have found ways to print money on demand, whether they're there or not? And then I started thinking about all the beautiful clients that I've been working with, and the finance brokers in the room, the financial planners in the room, the rental property managers. You guys have all figured out something out that I just couldn't see for a very long time, which is trail income. Finding a way to set up a business in such ways that as a consultant, a trainer, a coach, a speaker, and an author, you can actually somehow duplicate yourself online using technology and reach the right people and add value to them and have them also pay you for it. That was sort of the journey that I then ventured off on. Because I want to do more of this. I want to go more to Tahiti and spend, a full month with my family there and take my clients there, some of my best VIP coaching clients. I want to go, have the toys in the garage. Yes, I like cars, right? That's not mine, by the way. It's just, but that's my family indeed. I want to have the great experiences and share them with the people that I care about most. And again, for that purpose, I started a venture that was something new. I call it income automation. How to create multiple passive income streams. Now, at this point, it's important that I acknowledge somebody special in the room. And just mind the sound first. Notice Brett Aylen, who is sitting over there. Brett and I have been working for quite a while already together, and because of this type of work that we were marching into, again, a knowledge worker, somebody that's got expertise on offer for people to buy, and again, in the same sort of challenging situation that if he's there, he can make money. If he's not there, he can't, unless he's got staff with all the things that go with that as well. And so he and I, thanks to him, I got inspired to actually create a new program, a program that was set forward to actually help others to do what I want to do. Breaking away from just the selling time for money, because I call it's a trap that a lot of people, consultants, trainers, coaches, authors, and the likes fall into. And so this is a quick one. I'll make it really quick because time is running out. This was my epiphany moment when I just again thought about what's the business that I'm in. The top, the bottom here is where I've started my journey. This is where I gradually grew into. But if you look here, the score in terms of sellability, scalability, and all that, it wasn't there. So it was then finding another way to actually make it happen. So more and more my business is growing into the green side, where the scores are higher, and that's exactly what I want to help other people do as well, so that they not only have an impact doing what they love, but also create a legacy for themselves, their families, and other people that they want to serve. The third thing that I want to share with you is that it's important that people in that space need to create an integrated product funnel. So a product suite of things that they can replicate, some of which is passive and online, some of the stuff is active. Also, planning for growth. I started off without a plan, and guess what? When you don't have a plan, you plan to fail, right? This is a plan that I've actually learned from while working with one of my clients, Owens Casterly. They shared a plan similar to this. I molded it. I created my own around it for people that are in the selling game of time, and make sure that there's multiple ways on growing here. This is just obviously a blank one, but this sort of business planning is really important. As a result of this, multiple streams of income are now happening, and they're not just active, they're passive too, and that's really important. Scalable and sellability is now in the business, and this is just a snapshot of some things that we've done online with one of our systems. This is a 7-day period. You see like how much sales we made just online, and this is only a recent venture with only $340 marketing against it. And we had a few other transactions outside of the systems that amounted altogether for $7,137 in a week time. So think about what this can do for a trainer, a coach, a consultant, and the likes that are self-employed. It makes a difference making this sort of money at the back end. So this is a program that we have developed as a result, Passion Product Income Automation, that I want to help others with very quickly. It pretty much means that we not just show them how to do it, we actually help them to do it within 5 days and get it all done within 5 days. Video recording, video editing, putting it into the system, creating the funnel. Nobody ever showed me how to do that. They taught me how to do it, but then there was a lot of questions that nobody was there to answer, and therefore we were stuck. So this is what we're now looking to do with more people. I'm not going to go through the testimonial. This was a testimonial, but it's going to take a bit too long. We're now taking the next group of people in. It is already starting to fill, but I'm looking for referrals in that space to actually fill the next program in January. And these are the type of referrals that I'm looking for, particularly the consultants, trainers, coaches, authors that are self-employed and who want to have tried the online before but didn't necessarily make it work because of the same challenges that I faced as well. I want to help them now do it with Mart's help as well and the rest of the team. Thank you very much.